welcome back to the Realist Podcast. How you guys doing, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, I have to add my graphics. I appreciate y'all guys for tuning in whenever you come in. Check it out. How you guys doing? I'm back. Take a little break. Had to do a lot of, sometimes when you have these platforms, you have to do a lot of what you call. Let me get my camera straight. I'm gonna be in a minute. Damn. Straighten it out. All right. Shit. Excuse me, folks. Straighten my angle out a little bit. I don't know if I made it worse or not. Whatever. We all right. Square like that, dude. Push it back a little bit. All right, we cool. Oh man. Yeah, I ain't been up here in a minute. I haven't just had to do a lot of back end work, discovering, how things work on this YouTube platform. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of we'll get to it someday. I'll let you know how it goes. Anyway, we got a good show for you tonight. Let me get some music started. I want to get a little music started tonight. Kind of chill. I don't want to be too. I don't want to be too brutal tonight. I want to get along. I want to talk or have some good conversation. All right. Deal with that. That's cool. All right. But we got to get into some good subjects. Going to do some book shares. Right now, I'd like for you to share, like, subscribe, and I'll tell you people to tune in because we are live. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot I want to discuss. There's a whole lot going on in the news right now, a lot of current events. You got a lot of distraction after distraction after distraction that's going on. Everything seems kind of fuzzy. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to pit people against people in every way possible. But, on the Wilderness Podcast, we discuss a lot about the will being yours. And to my recollection, I think that's bringing us together because if you're a stronger individual, you're stronger connected with people as well without being so fragile that everything got to go your way or be your way. But at the end of the day, respect is one thing. Respect is one thing you have to make sure you have for yourself and for other people. The problem is there's a whole lot of lack of respect that's going on that I think we can really do without at this point in time. Seriously. So a lot of people try to harp on the fact that I speak about the thing that I speak about, and they have damn near no real fundamental basis of even their perspective. So we're going to take another perspective tonight because I think a lot of people love believing lies. They love believing lies. But see, when I look at other channels, and I do listen and I interpret other people's perspectives, and sometimes you have to say to yourself, damn, if I didn't take time to read books, if I didn't take time to understand how to value true knowledge. You know, it is very true that the more we learn, the more we understand how much you don't know, because knowledge is extremely humble. And when you're on a quest of learning, we have to do just that. We have to learn, not lie. I'm trying not to be in a state of, or formulate a state of being pessimistic. This show truly is about lifting us up. You know what I'm saying? So in some ways, we have to, move forward with what's going on in today's society, because it seems so grim for a lot of us, but we don't have to make it. We don't. There are a whole lot of opportunities that will open up, that has to open up, because this nation has to keep moving forward. Well, some people want to pack up everything and leave. Some people want to say, we fight for what's here, or we dig our feet in here. I'm down with that. I'm down with that, digging my feet right here, right where I'm at, for real. And I'm okay with that too, because at the end of the day, what I know, my ancestors have fought entirely too hard. They have given it everything they have ever had, just to make this type of way for us to even have a platform to distribute a positive message that everybody can feel. I know I'm going a little slow tonight, and that's on purpose, because I'm not in the business of bashing no one. I just try to tell people my perspective, but I like to base that on facts. And I know sometimes that don't appease a lot of people, but at the end of the day, I'm not attacking you. You can research like I do. I share books and I do book shares. If you're interested in those specific books, hey man, shit, we can have a conversation about that. We can get and talk. You can also leave comments. My comments are open to people that want to put them out there. It's cool. You have to subscribe. That's cool too. Subscribe to the Wilderness Podcast. Let me know what's happening. Subscribe, share, like. Because at the end of the day, man, I'm going to keep on putting out shows. I'm going to keep on dropping jewels. I'm going to keep on dropping this knowledge. But I don't like to speak in terms of what everybody in the direction of everybody is trying to go. I try to highlight specific elements and try to encapsulate like the tone, right? Like the tone of what's going on in the world. So due to the fact that I understand people are still trying to get to know me and still trying to get to know the Wilderness Podcast, what we discuss a lot is who we are as an individual person is just as important as we are as a group of people. So the more you know about yourself, the more you have the ability to inspire yourself, you can inspire others. See, we don't have everybody doesn't have, people that support them. Everybody doesn't have people that look out for them all the time. So I know there are a lot of people that are, little, dissociated from the group. So kind of call them misfits. So that's kind of like what the Wilderness Podcast, the Wilderness, I'm a misfit. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, what you would call a Sigma male. So I don't follow a pack. But what we do have is this platform is the platform for us to learn, listen, grow from one another. and get more involved and intrinsic with one another so that we can raise the vibrations, you know. I'm not trying to destroy, but there is a need to reveal, for real. The platforms and the, you know, the matrix that what we identify with it's coming apart. You can read 1984, Adolf Huxley. You can read Blavatsky. See, knowledge of the higher worlds and attainment is what a lot of people use as a book of attaining. Like a lot of books like this, like, you know, it was the secret was from a conglomerate of books. You know, a lot of books are really more intricately detailed about another book. So people write books about a lot of different things. But that's why you should show particular interest in things that you want to learn about, because you have to buy the books that are, you know, that will go into even more detail. Like I will give you a specific and this is getting right into the show right now, Believing in Lies show. So I bet you a lot of people have never heard of this specific esoteric entity called Enki, right? So, son of Anu. So it's Enlil. Enlil is also the son of Anu. Enki is the older son. I need y'all to understand me, because this is what your Bible is written about. This is what all your scrolls is written about. This is the snake that gave Eve the apple. You know, so all of these stories came from other stories. Ancient, even more ancient stories. So if you understand life as a cycle, that's basically what it is. Life is a cycle. These cycles that we all go through, it's about really the evolution of us as humanity. But the thing is, a lot of people believe in lies. A lot of people want to change the starting point of humanity. They want to act as if it's when they came on the scene is when their world began. But that's just not suitable for all peoples. And when you believe in lies, you know, those are you rewriting the story from your perspective. And these are older stories, way even more ancient stories that you're trying to fit and actually wear the cloak of. See, that's what happens when you start a civilization in the middle, like with the Greeks. You got to look how that philosophical mindset really did permeate, and it did touch a lot of the world. In all actuality, you got Black Greek letter writing society. You got all of these different pivots on the, you know, the celebration of the Greek culture, which is there's the problem though. When we go back to Martin Brunell, he gives you, and not Ann Lefowitz, you know, because those two different perspectives talk about Greece totally different. Now, Greece took all their gods from the ancient Kemetic, ancient Egyptian god. The reason why Serapis Christos, you know, with the cup on the head, he didn't have a cartouche. And that was in the East. But that actually happened in ancient Kemetic culture that was distributing into Greek culture. So into Greek culture, you get all of these different, you know, Hippocrates and, you know, Noma, Homer, you got these different age-old uh, Greek philosophers, and they all tell you we we're at the foothills of the ancient Kemetic people, the African Black Kemetic people. Actually, in ancient Egypt, those were the people that came up from the Sudanese culture, Nubia. This is Africa now. So, for those of you that say you don't talk about Africa enough, you don't speak about, yes, I know African origin history quite well. I'm just not gonna lie to you about it. I hope you understand. So, where I'm going is, so for the European, which is Europe, was named after African goddess, Europa, Europe. There you have it. So, rightfully so, because according to Dr. Francis Percy Wilson, let's get the ISIS. No, I can put it back on the shelf. I could use the Iceman inheritance. I could use, this is quite a few, but I really want the ISIS papers. I could take the invention of race, Jacqueline Battlora. She's the allowed here today, champion as well. Shout out to Jacqueline Battlora. But where's Dr. Francis Percy Wilson? Where's Dr. My ISIS statement? So many books. All right, let me see. Oh, I got wicked words by Provo Car as well. Shout out to Joe Wiggins for being on this show. Let's talk about that book a lot too. But Jacqueline Battlora, this is one. Yeah, this is a good one right here. This covers a lot. Um, Nativism manifestation in many ways, but none were clearer than those the passage of the Immigrants Exclusion Act and the laws of block people from certain countries from legally immigrating to the United States. These laws were particularly interesting because it revealed who was seen as a threat to American life. Controversially, immigration excluded acts also helped sharpen those seen as American. In addition, immigration inclusion laws reflect the conflict between labor and capitalism, or those who own control mode of production and always seek cheaper labor. This conflict is most often manifested in competition amongst workers rather than the explosion as a part of the latter. Welcome to the United States has historically shown European immigrants and extended to Chinese in the interest in rapid economic development in the West after gold was discovered in California in 1848. U.S. immigration laws admitted only Chinese men. Ascentization laws, anti-miscegenation laws in place where Chinese population was sizable, including the prohibition of white marrying Chinese. The laws combined to severely limit the ability of Chinese men in the United States to form families, making them primarily means of patriarchal authority and largely unavailable. These laws were also created to undergo a market of Chinese women bodies. Chinese prostitution flourished in a significant number of Chinese male labor live and work, and became a resource of nativism and others to claim that Chinese were heathens. The ideology of free labor that took shape in the antebellum North transferred into whites, working men campaigning for a mass wage by progressive era in the 1990s to the 1920s. A man's wages was an amount of sufficient supporting labor and his family at a respectable standard. This ideal of appropriate wages grew up in the recognition of work and gender roles that occurred in the 19th century as a result in industrialization. The mechanization of work drew a wedge between home, seen as a private realm, and work, seen as a public realm. The prior and industrialization in home and land constituted the location of work with tremendous overlapping in work performed by women and men. With these exceptions of work circumscribed to human reproduction. With the onset of industrialization, work was increasingly performed away from home with a factory by men. That called for men's wages, both racial and gender dimensions. According to Alice Kelsa Harris, a working white woman's wages was viewed as supplemental regardless of her situation and such calculated at a low rate and deemed not necessary for family well-being in the 1990s. And on the other hand, Black, Mexican, and other non-white women were viewed as labor as part because they were excluded from the gender ideology that constructed white women as virtuous, having pure morals and excelling in activities in domesticity, including the rearing and education of children, while white women's wages were justified as lower relative to men. Non-white women wages were justified as non-white women wages were justified as lower than white women's on the basis of non-white people's standard of living and presumed to be lower than that of the white Americans. Similarly, man's wages did not apply to non-white men, who were excluded from such claims to patriarchal authority through the feminization of the work as unfree, the rendering of the work dirty, and therefore unfit for whiteness, and belief of whites that non-whites could survive on next to nothing. For examples, 1902 survey of Hawaiian plantation showed that American whites worked doing equivalent work were paid an average of $3.82 a day, Portuguese $2.61, Native Hawaiian $2.12, and Japanese $1.63. White overseers were paid 47% more than Portuguese overseers and 100% more than Japanese. This wage stratification continued in 1915 when another survey was conducted. Just a non-white men were excluded from the inclusion and when the construction of free labor. They were excluded from merely emerging expressions of patriarchal authority via a man's wages. So if that is not the absolute birth of a nation, birth of a white nation, so it made sure, even down to this day, and it's the problem, this is the actual specific problem, and it's the bubble as to where we are today. I just read it to you. That's just as specific as you can get. Now we can also look at what set these things up. We call words. Words. Wicked words. Let's take a few out. Let's take a few words in here. Okay. Miscegenation. A mixture hold on. Miscegenation. Miscegenation. A mixture of races, marriages, and cohabitation between a white person and a member of another's race. Mixed marriages. This is what they was doing. Let's take this one. What we just had. Martin Luther King Day, the third Monday in January, observed as a legal holiday in some states, and in the U.S. Webster's ninth New Collegiate Dictionary. At the time of the definition was written, Martin Luther King's Day, the celebration was celebrated as a legal holiday in a vast majority of in the U.S. Yet, the above definition quietly inserts the word in some states. It seriously downplays the national holiday, and as if added the insult to injury in 1994 edition, Webster omits entry altogether. As a matter of verifiable fact, Congress of the United States of America decided the third Monday in January, the Monday closest to King's birthday, as a federal holiday. According to the Microsoft and Carter Africana, this happened in 1983, years before the latest trio of Webster dictionaries, which were all printed in 1990, so they have no exclusion. The American Heritage Dictionary treats the holiday more fairly when it says that Martin Luther King Day in the third Monday in January observed in the United States in commemoration of the day of Martin Luther King Jr. Mem Shabib, a white foreign woman in high school. Yeah, that's another definition. Stated living in India, the wife of a British official. Why would the word like this be imported in American public? We can only guess, given the trend of other racial words considered here, is probably to elevate a white woman and keep her elevated no matter where she is in the world. Woo! Boy, I tell you. All right. Antidotes. In this chapter, greatest word scientist of medicine, an ancient voice told us the simple man believes every word he hears, while a clever man understands the need of proof. Man has yet to find a cure for the real disease behind all of the rhetoric that exists. In some dictionary definitions, we need more than a band-aid to remedy the situation. With the sinister posture, a diseased mind of a white racist lurks below the surface of some dictionary definitions. Ironically, in other cases, it's a mixture of innocence and ignorance beneath the definition. In any event, the white racist is especially dangerous when he has the power of the pen, the power of influence to infect the thinking of others. Surely the vaccine of accurate knowledge and the first step to remedy such a perplexing problem. So you the one with the antidote? Nah, that's the person with the poison. Oh, boy. Depolitics the law of racism. A soft answer turns away wrath, but harsh words cause quarrels. Check this out what a black nationalist means. By definition, this is what a black nationalist means. But before that, I will let you know this. There are a lot of quarreling going on in political circles. It's quite deliberating when political prejudice spills over into the dictionary. Some black political organizations victimized by how they are defined by the white establishment. After the quarrel is over, African Americans or black Americans or whoever are left with something far worse than a proverbial black eye. Speaking of vision, when a black man views himself through a racist lens of the dictionary, he sees a distortion. Not only a harsh word about him found there, harsh words are also in the white man's law books. But you won't need a lawyer to figure these words out. The fine print is bold. Check out this word, black nationalism, a member of a group of militant blacks who advocate separatism from the whites and the formation of self-governing black community. I don't know what's wrong with that, but let's keep reading. Webster's Ninth New Collegiate Dictionary. Did you notice the word militant? This word isn't used at all in Webster's Ninth New Collegiate Dictionary for a group of like the Ku Klux Klan or neo-Nazis or skinheads. In fact, it doesn't even give a hint that these groups are violent at all. But as soon as I say Black Americans are the most vibrant group on the planet, vibrant, meaning I'm not discrediting or taking away from anybody else. I'm making a simple statement that didn't destroy or demean anybody else. But if you look on my TikTok page, I am sufficiently being ridiculed by saying, oh, you mean you're the most violent people? Well, absolutely not true. Did you hear what I just read? Let me continue reading. Despite this prejudice, it is common knowledge that these white supremacists are known for their violence, murder, actions against blacks, Jews, and others. Some white supremacist organizations even have their own military. There are so many things wrong with the general white perception of black nationalism that the subject is too convoluted and complex to be treated fairly in a short space allotted here. We will nonetheless try to do a lot with that a little later, but that's what I'm here to do. That now. See, the problem is, as I tell you, people believe in their own lies. They believe in their own ideological perspective, but they do not want to introduce what they think in their mind to an actual fact or truth, or the origin of how things actually have perpetuated themselves, or that you have perpetuated. So let me continue to read, just so you know. A more accurate, concise definition of black nationalism would be a black person who advocates separatism from a white racist society that has designed mechanisms to discriminate against and otherwise oppress black men and women. Self-determination. Yet, yes, some blacks have advocated for separatism, but separatism movements by black leaders like Paul Coupe, Martin L. Delaney, and Marcus Garvey have historically been, no, not militant, but peaceful. But even peaceful means failed sometimes, as we know now today. What I'm reading now, we saw a white gentleman get pretty much gunned down in the streets of Minnesota, for helping someone. He didn't pull a gun on anyone, didn't harm anyone, but he was assassinated. He was unalive in the streets. Let me continue to reading, because even when you're peaceful, you have to keep your head on a swivel. So that brings a lot of fear to people, seeing that type of situation. It makes you realize a lot of situations are very real, always have been real, especially in my community. Where I come from, how I was raised, where I'm from, and regardless, I still wear the basketball. I can't get out of this skin, baby. This is me. This is why I can't escape this. Not at all. Let me continue to read for you. When a peaceful black African ship captain named Alfred C. Sam sailed about 60 African Americans back to Africa in 1915, British officials maneuvered to have the ship confiscated. Neither Sam nor any other men mentioned above a military. In his actions, these black men were practicing the nonviolence long before Martin Luther King made it popular. Black men in the same spirit of nonviolence. If you happen to be walking down the street in a night predominantly white neighborhood and you see an angry group of white supremacists coming towards you, don't worry. Just open up Wilson's Black Collegiate Dictionary and show them that. Oh, hey, show them where they aren't described as being militant. Okay, Black Panther, 1965. A member of the organization, Militant Black American Representative. Okay, again, militant, right? These are three things wrong with the definition. First, the word militant is used. See the above definition, whether to be black men get together, suspicious white forces within our society call them, or their organization. The attitude goes back to the days of slavery, when certain circumstances is against the law for black to congregate for fear of a slave revolt. Some might even fear black retribution in the form of political revolution. Second definition is the present tense by the Black Panther Party and described 1965 and indicated in the definition no longer existed. The definition writes as its fear, mistrust of blacks, and gives a distinct impression that Black Panther Party should be feared now. But why? Feared what? By way of contrast,
own organization still to this day, but according to the dictionary, okay, notorious for gang warfare. Through Webster's dictionary, it's occasionally unkind to other races. Occasionally unkind to other races, mind you. Occasionally. Okay. Where was I? Okay. Yeah, formerly notorious for gang warfare. Okay. So, through Webster's dictionary, for occasionally unkind to other races, they specifically target the black race. Third definition doesn't give the whole story why Black Panther Party found it necessary to be. As the editors call it, militant, the complete name of the political party was the Black Panther Party for self-defense. They found it necessary to defend themselves from a white law enforcement officials who, without provocation, brutalized them, and as other blacks. In 1993, Microsoft and Carter. This is 1993 now. Microsoft and Carter. Multimedia Encyclopedia describes the Black Panther Party as originally a kind of community action club for self-defense of black people. It should come to no surprise that the main branch of the Los Angeles Library information of the Black Panther Party is listed under terrorism or terrorist organization. On the other hand, information on the KKK can be located under the innocuous heading of the clubs. This is quite simply incredible. Black Panther Party was originally not a militant group. Neither were black. Neither were they black racists at all. In this book, long time gone, 1996, the Black Panther William Lee Brent, who hijacked a plane in Cuba about 30 or so years ago, wrote, Panther Chairman Bobby Seale stressed the non-racist character of the Black Panther Party. He said the Panthers would work with anyone who was serious about fighting to end racism, social and political injustice, and police brutality. Some whites were so comfortable with the Panthers, that according to Brent, all kinds of people hung around the Panthers office, members, non-members, whites especially, anti-war and anti-racist activists were constantly coming into making contributions for money and office supplies. And the Panthers got along well. The Panthers even listened to the playing of white music like Bob Dylan and the Righteous Brothers of their Oakland headquarters. This so-called vicious, militant, racist black group was so comfortable around whites that some members of their leadership, as well as the rank and files, were married to white women. Even in Brent himself was. Quite fascinatingly, because the Black Panthers were a non-anti-white, other black liberation groups distrusted them. The most important thing I learned from the trip to New York, Brent confessed, was the black liberation movement had serious problems of disunity, especially around the Panthers and their policies of coalition with whites. Despite these facts, the militant Panthers were, according to the FBI's first director, J. Edgar Hoover, the most dangerous military group of militants in the country. Of course, he never said the Ku Klux Klan, who were described as Christians. In the Webster Snipe Collegiate Dictionary, the implications make some interesting sense. So now, as you can see, people believe a lot of lies until you have a different perspective. Sometimes it's good to read the book. This book is called Wicked Words and Poisoned Minds, Racism in the Dictionary by Pro. I hope his sales go up. You guys should really check this book out. Okay? Got one more for you. Again, Powernomics. Powernomics. All right. So, I know we talk a lot on this show, but believing in lies, I want to also give you one thing about when it comes to wealth. And the reason why I picked up Powernomics. I want to read you page 120, where does wealth come from? Since Black Americans primarily problem in the lack of wealth, and the primary part of the solution must be for Blacks to gain wealth. We must learn alternative ways of wealth to create and how to capitalize on human need and desire to gain wealth. But we must remember that all roads do not lead to wealth. There are two basic methods of achieving wealth. First, it can be created and acquired through redistribution. It is also very difficult to earn wealth and to acquire it by working a job. A job is designated to maintain a worker from payday to payday, and it keeps working from 1 week to another week, from welfare to unemployment line. But what is wealth? In early chapters, we learned that wealth is the fruit of any labor and is stored and used to satisfy human desires and needs. Wealth can be acquired through inheritance, reparations, or profit from someone else's labor. The less a worker is paid for labor, the more wealth the owner of the business or land gains. Think about that. Now that's not a lie. You got to stop telling yourself lies. You got to stop believing in lies and start fortifying yourself with the truth. I told you want to sit in the bosom of truth, because lies are no good for you. So why do people love lies? Lies make you feel good. They make you feel adequate. They make you feel efficient. They make you feel like nobody knows what they're talking about but you. But the one thing about a lie, lies can always be disproven. No matter how loud you yell them or how much you believe in them, they can always be disproven. That's the show today. I appreciate y'all for tuning into the Wilderness Podcast. I love you. I hope you enjoyed the music in the background this time too. I'm trying to take it back to how we used to do things. I hope you love it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. I salute to you. Hey, check it out. The will is